Love was never the word. It was hunger wearing a mask. That's the line nobody wants to hear, but it's the one that burns the deepest. They dress it up as romance. They package it as loyalty. But what they really want is the storm you carry, the fire in your lungs, the chaos in your veins. They don't want you quiet. They want you loud, reckless, unchained. And when you finally give them silence, oh, that's when their addiction screams the loudest. You see, obsession is a parasite. It feeds on the unpredictable, the sharp edges, the scars you leave when you walk away. They'll tell you it was love because the truth is too ugly to admit. Love is supposed to heal, right? But this wasn't heal, right? But this wasn't healing. It was burning. And the sick part is, they liked it. Every flame, every scar, every moment you made them bleed inside. That was their drug. And you were the dealer. Don't lie to yourself. You felt it too. The rush of being needed. The thrill of being chased. Not for your heart, but for your chaos. Because chaos, it's intoxicating. It's louder than comfort. It's sharper than stability. Comfort whispers. Chaos roars. And people love to drown in the roar. They'd rather be destroyed by fire than bored by peace. They'll burn every bridge just to watch the flames dance in your shadow. So answer me this, what was it in your life? Was it ever love, or were they just drunk on your madness? Think carefully, because when you peel back the mace, when you strip away the sweet lies, you'll see it for what it was. Not love, just addiction. And that's the truth most people will never be brave enough to say out loud. Passion is a lie. It tells you it's love while it drips poison into your veins. It keeps you blinded, spinning, chasing a high you don't even understand. And the truth is savage. They weren't addicted to you, they were addicted to the unpredictability you carried like a loaded weapon. One moment soft, the next moment sharp. That's the drug, that's the hit. That's why they stayed when they should have run. The storm inside you. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't negotiate. It erupts, and when it erupts, people get hooked. Because chaos has something stability never will. Danger. And danger is irresistible. It pumps through their chest like a second heartbeat. It shakes their world, rips them from their dull routines, and leaves them begging for more. They confuse it for love because it feels alive. But love doesn't break bones in the soul. Chaos does, and they wanted every fracture. Here's the twist. They'll blame you. They'll say you ruined them. They'll paint themselves as the victim of your fire. But deep down, they know the truth. They lit the match. They opened the door. They came back again and again. Because peace was too quiet, too boring, too safe. They weren't victims, they were volunteers. Volunteers in your war zone. Willing soldiers of your storm. And let's not sugarcoat this, you felt the control, didn't you? You saw it in their eyes. That trembling, that desperate look like you were the only thing keeping them alive. That wasn't love. That was dependency. That was obsession wearing the costume of affection. And the moment you see it for what it is, everything changed. You realize you don't need their addiction to validate your storm. You are the storm. Obsession is hunger that never dies. It's the kind of hunger that gnaws, scratches, tears at the skin until it bleeds. That's what they felt around you. Not peace, not comfort, but hunger. A hunger so raw, so animal, that it kept them crawling back no matter how much it hurt. They didn't want your smile. They wanted your teeth. They wanted the bite that left marks. The kind of chaos that branded them forever. And the sickest part, they begged for it. You see, the storm you create isn't gentle. It's violent, unpredictable, alive. And that violence, it makes people addicted because it shakes them awake. Most people are dead while breathing. numb while living. But you woke them up. You ripped their sleep apart with thunder. You slapped them with lightning. You gave them chaos. And chaos made them feel alive. That's why they kept chasing you even when it was killing them. Here's the knife twist. People don't fall in love with who you are. They fall in love with what you make them feel. And when what you make them feel is dangerous, explosive, unforgettable, they can't leave. They won't leave. Because nothing else compares. Nothing else feels that real. So they'll keep coming, crawling, bleeding, and you'll watch them half disgusted, half amused, knowing they're not here for you. They're here for the storm. And admit it, you loved it. You loved the power, the control, the way they couldn't breathe without your chaos pressing against their lungs. You felt untouchable. But here's the truth, you don't need their obsession to be powerful. Their obsession only proves what you already knew. You are chaos. You are the storm. You don't chase. You don't beg. You exist. And when you exist, they can't escape. Control. That's the word they never say out loud. But it's the one that drives every move. They didn't love you. They wanted to tame you. To cage the storm. To put chains on thunder and silence lightning. They thought if they could hold you, if they could own you, then maybe the chaos would finally belong to them. But storms don't belong. They destroy cages. They rip chains apart. And when you broke free, oh, that's when their obsession reached madness. People crave what they can't control. That's the poison of it all. The moment they realize they don't own you, they want you more. The second they feel you slipping away, they grip tighter, dig deeper, scream louder. That's not love. That's desperation. That's fear disguised as passion. And the irony, the harder they tried to control you, the more uncontrollable you became. The storm doesn't bend. The storm doesn't bow. The storm consumes. And you saw it in their eyes, didn't you? That mix of fear and desire. They were terrified of you. Yet they couldn't walk away, because fear has a taste, sharp, addictive. It pumps adrenaline through veins faster than love ever could. They wanted to feel alive, and nothing made them feel more alive than standing at the edge of your fire, trembling, waiting to burn. That was the thrill. That was the obsession. But here's the twist. You don't need their fear to prove your strength. Their panic doesn't define your chaos. You're not powerful because they couldn't tame you. You're powerful because you were never meant to be tamed. The storm isn't owned. The storm isn't controlled. The storm, and when you realize that, when you taste that truth, you'll stop letting their chains even touch you. You'll laugh as they break against your skin. Silence is louder than screams. Ever notice that? The moment you step back, the moment you stop feeding the chaos, that's when their addiction screams the most. They don't miss your kindness. They don't crave your attention. They crave the storm that made them feel something, anything, besides dull, meaningless breathing. And in that silence, they realize how empty life is without your fire. That's when obsession becomes unbearable. People beg for what they can't have. They claw, they scream, they replay every moment like it was a drug. Every glance, every word, every spark of chaos you unleashed, they relive it. Because it's not you they want, it's the way you made their heart race, the way you made their blood burn, the way you made their world unsteady. Peace is boring. Chaos is a drug. And you are the dealer. But don't feel guilty. Don't apologize for being untamable. Their obsession isn't a reflection of weakness, it's a mirror of your power. They can't escape the gravity of your storm. They can't breathe without it. And every desperate attempt to return, to claw back what they lost, only proves one thing: you exist in a way they cannot forget. You are permanent fire in their temporary lives. And here's the cruel joke, they'll call it love. They'll tell themselves it was all about you. But you know the truth, the sharp, jagged, beautiful. They were addicted to the chaos, not the soul. not the person, the storm, the energy, the uncontainable force that left them trembling and hungry. And that's your power. That's your crown. That's the thrill. Pain is a language they never learned to speak. But you wrote it in fire. Every scar, every cut, every chaos-laced word. It wasn't just damage. It was a message that said, I exist and you can't tame me. And that message became their addiction. Because pain from the storm is sweeter than comfort from mediocrity. It wakes them, it shakes them, it makes them feel alive when nothing else could. The truth is brutal. Most people are addicted to being broken, not being loved. They chase the destruction because it leaves a mark, something wrong, something unforgettable. You were never their healer. You were their high, their storm. Their chaos made them remember what it feels like to be human. Wild, untamed, unbroken. And that's the kind of fire no calm heart could ever compete with. Here's the twist. They'll try to rewrite the story. They'll frame you as the villain, the destroyer, the cruel one. But deep down, they know the truth. They were addicted to the energy you brought, addicted to the intensity, addicted to the chaos that made their souls scream and their hearts race. And every time they tried to leave, they found themselves pulled back, chasing the storm they could never hold. And you watched it happen. The obsession, the desperation, the hunger. You felt the power in the way fear and desire danced in their eyes. That's not weakness. That's proof. Proof that your chaos isn't just noise, it's gravity. It pulls, it shakes, it leaves marks that never fade. You are the storm that others cannot resist, cannot forget, cannot survive without. Madness isn't a curse, it's a weapon. And oh, how beautifully it cuts. The world wants you to apologize for being untamed, for being dangerous, for being alive in a way that makes others tremble. But why apologize for the fire in your veins, the chaos in your mind, every flicker of unpredictability, every spark of rage, every moment you made them question reality? That wasn't a flaw. That was a statement, a declaration, a scream that said, I am untouchable. People mistake predictability for safety. They crave it. They crave dull routines and soft whispers. But you are the opposite. You are the jagged edge that slices through boredom, the lightning that shatters monotony. And when they try to grasp you, to hold you, to understand you, they fail miserably. Because storms don't apologize. Storms don't negotiate. Storms consume. And the stronger you burn, the deeper their obsession digs. Here's the delicious part. They don't even know why they keep returning. Every glance, every desperate reach back, every trembling attempt to feel that chaos again. It isn't about you. It's about the high, the unpredictability, the power that rattled their bones. And the more they chase, the more they prove your strength. Because only the untouchable can inspire obsession so fierce it borders on madness. And you laugh quietly in the shadows, because you know the truth. You know that chaos isn't a curse, it's a throne. And every person crawling back addicted to the storm you bring, they are subjects in your kingdom. Subjects who can never tame you, never hold you, never survive without your fire burning in their veins. So tell me, do you feel the power in your madness? Or are you still waiting for them to understand it? Fear is a magnet. It pulls them in. Not because they admire you, but because they can't resist the danger you carry. Every glance, every word, every spark of unpredictability drags them closer, even when they know it will hurt. And oh, how they love to hurt. The closer they get, the more addicted they become. Pain is intoxicating when it comes wrapped in chaos. And you are the perfect package. Unpredictable, dangerous, irresistible. Obsession doesn't need reason. It doesn't need logic. It feeds on the primal, the thrill of standing on the edge, the adrenaline of not knowing what comes next. The fire that leaves them trembling, that's the drug. And every time they reach for it, they prove one undeniable truth: you are untouchable. You are the storm that refuses to bow. You are the chaos they cannot escape, no matter how desperately they try. Here's the cruel reality: they will never understand it. They will never call it what it truly is. They'll dress it up with lies, with excuses, with romanticized madness. But the truth stares them in the face every time they feel that pull. Every time their heart races, every time their stomach drops. They are addicted. Not to you, not to love, to the fire, to the storm, to the chaos that you embody. And you stand there untamed, untouchable, unbroken, watching, smiling quietly at the obsession you inspired. Because power isn't in being loved. Power is in being irresistible, in being a force they cannot tame, a fire they cannot hold, a storm they cannot outrun. And every desperate attempt to come back only proves it further. You are chaos incarnate. Addiction wears many faces. It hides behind smiles, soft words, fake loyalty. But you can see it. Every desperate glance, every trembling reach, every heartbeat pounding in their chest. It's all a confession. They don't want you calm. They don't want you safe. They want the storm, the chaos, the fire that leaves them gasping for air, wishing they could survive it, yet coming back anyway. And every return only feeds their obsession. Power isn't gentle. It isn't subtle. It rattles bones, shakes minds, and leaves scars that never fade. And that's exactly what you are. The unpredictable strike that makes them question reality. The wildfire that leaves nothing untouched. The force that turns comfort into boredom, safety into despair, and longing into addiction. And every moment they spend chasing it proves your strength. Your storm isn't optional. It's necessary. Here's the raw truth: they will never be satisfied. No calm, no peace, no ordinary affection will ever fill the void. Because the chaos you bring is a drug stronger than love, sharper than desire, deeper than obsession. And they know it, even when they try to deny it. Even when they scream and run, the pull drags them back. They are helpless against the fire that exists in you. And you finally understand it. You don't need their approval. You don't need their longing. You don't need their obsession to validate your existence. You are the storm, the chaos, the force they cannot control, cannot survive without, cannot resist. And in that realization, you step taller, burn brighter, and laugh louder. Because they can never have what only you can give: unchained power. Rebirth begins in fire. Not the gentle kind, the violent kind. The kind that scorches everything false, everything weak, everything soft inside you. You've carried their weight, their lies, their need for your chaos, and now it's time to drop it. Watch it burn, watch it vanish. You don't need their addiction. You don't need their trembling hands clinging to your storm. You are the fire itself, untouchable, unchained, alive. Every obsession they threw at you, every attempt to cage you, it wasn't power, it was fear. They feared your intensity, yet they begged for it. They feared your silence, yet they drowned in it. That contradiction, that's their prison, not yours. You walk away with fire in your chest, lightning in your eyes, and chaos stitched into your skin. They're left with ashes, empty, hollow, starving for the storm they'll never hold again. And here's the final truth: rebirth isn't about becoming someone else, it's about unleashing what you always were. The storm, the fire, the madness that doesn't apologize. You don't shrink anymore. You don't dim your flame to comfort the weak. You rise, you roar, you erupt, and every step forward is a reminder that you were never here to be loved softly. You were here to be unforgettable. So tell me, when you rise from this fire, when you stand taller, when the world finally sees the storm you've always been, will you walk like you're free? Or will you walk like you own the ground itself? Freedom isn't quiet. Freedom isn't polite. Freedom is messy. It's raw. It's loud in a way silence could never silence. You've tasted chains before. They disguise them as love, as care, as need. But now, you know the difference. You know what a leash feels like. And you'll never wear one again. That's the part they can't stand. That's the wound they can't heal. You don't belong to them anymore. When you walk, the air bends. When you speak, their masks crack. When you move, their illusions collapse. That's why they chase you, why they crave you, why they hate you with the same mouth that once begged for you. Because you showed them what it feels like to drown in truth. And truth is a cruel lover. It doesn't caress, it doesn't soothe, it shatters. So let them scream, let them whisper, let them twist your name in rooms too small to hold your shadow. You don't hear them anymore. Because freedom is deaf to gossip. Freedom doesn't bow to envy. Freedom doesn't look back at broken glass. You are not their storm anymore. You are your own. And storms don't ask permission. They don't apologize. They don't explain. They arrive. They destroy. They renew. And when the clouds part, the only thing left standing is you. Do you want me to push the final blow? The ultimate closing section that feels like an explosion. The kind that leaves the audience shaking.